You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans. Victor Newman is not happy that Claire Newman is dating Kyle Abbott, and he wants it over. So is he going to work with Summer Newman to help split them up? It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about how Victor may use one granddaughter against another to get what he wants, but along the way, his goal would be taking something away from both young women. Let's dive into how low the mustache may go, but please click subscribe if you're not already following. So this week, we have Victor really mad that Jack beat him at his own game because he got glissade and put it back together, and he told Michael he's still going to mess with him. And then Victor met up with Jack, intending for Kyle to see them together and distrust his dad. But Victor has a bad read on the Abbotts. Jack and Kyle are in a good place. They see eye to eye, and it's going to be much harder to mess with them and divide the family. One thing that Victor wants to do is sever ties between the Newmans and the Abbotts. And right now, Claire and Kyle are basically the Romeo and Juliet of the families. Although the Abbotts are okay with Claire dating Kyle, we did have Jack this week tell Kyle he worries that Victor might influence her, but Kyle assured his dad Claire is sweet and trustworthy, and I do think she is. What's interesting is that Kyle also said she wasn't cynical or jaded, and I think in his mind, he is comparing Claire to Summer, and his ex-wife is falling short by comparison. I mean, she's been very manipulative lately, and Kyle knows it. When Summer blabbed Claire's chancellor job news to him before Claire got a chance, and then insisting that they shortcut Claire and tell Harrison about her having to leave when she wanted to be part of it to reassure him. You know, those were problematic. And the same day that Jack questioned Kyle about Claire, we had Victor sliding up next to her with some insinuations and some accusations against Kyle's family. So Nikki and Victoria were giving Claire a wardrobe makeover to celebrate her new job at Chancellor. And then Victor cornered Claire and told her Kyle was a distraction. And, you know, it's very clear Victor wants her away from him and the whole family. And he said the Abbotts are unstable. And he's insulting the family and said Jack and Diane's reconciliation won't last. But then Claire undercut Victor and reminded him, as he knows, they never really split up. So it's not a reconciliation. But he didn't stop. He went on about them. And again, Claire disagreed and said that they share lots of love. And then Victor tried to tell her that there's rot underneath it. You know, he's back on his whole kick of Jack spent a night of debauchery with Nikki. And technically, by the definition of debauchery, which is like an excessive use of drugs or alcohol, that is true, but he's making it sound like dirty and kind of sexual to me. Jack was trying to save Nikki's life, and it worked, and Victor is still butthurt about it. He told Claire that the Abbotts won't bounce back from this, and he's kind of acting like he didn't play a role in it when she clearly knows he did. Claire is also irritated at Victor when, you know, she said he's got opinions on the Abbotts, but plenty of people have opinions on the Newmans, but nobody really knows the inside of someone else's family. And then Victor claims that Claire is only seeing what the Abbotts want her to see and is implying that they've misled her or that she's been naive. And then Victor told Claire one day she's going to have to choose between the two families, but she again disagreed with her granddad and said there is no reason for that to happen unless Victor starts targeting the Abbotts again. Claire kind of low-key called him out, but Victor evaded that, saying Jack's not a victim. And then Claire stood very firm and told Victor she's not going to have her hand forced. Clearly, Claire is not going to back off from Kyle, and all these nasty things, mostly untrue, that Victor is saying are not going to sway her. So it seems like he's going to have to take action if he wants to split up Claire and Kyle. But Victor also really can't go at it directly because, first of all, she's already rebuffed him and pushed back, but also Claire would know it. But Victor can use someone else to do his dirty work, and that's one of his favorite things to do, and it might be Summer. Now, bear in mind, I don't think Victor wants Summer with Kyle either, but Victor may think he can use Summer to break up Claire and Kyle, and then Victor can use the things that he had Summer do to keep Kyle from reconciling with her. You know how Victor likes to manipulate people's lives like he's playing his beloved game of chess? So what I do think is Summer would be pretty easy for Victor to manipulate. You know, Summer's already a part-time agent of chaos because of the half of her DNA she got from her mom, Phyllis. And we've already seen Summer taking aim at Claire and Kyle's relationship. Not only does Summer want Kyle back, despite her denials, she also wants Claire away from Harrison. Summer feels threatened by her, the attachment that her ex-husband and her adoptive son have to Claire. Part of that may be that Summer, she knows she's not Harrison's real mom. He's got a biological mom in prison who may come back someday. And, with a little nudge from Victor, I could see Summer kicking her antics into high gear to try and split them up. It'll be harder, I think, now since Kyle has become Claire's first lover and he is smitten. But if Summer is going to have a chance to break them up, now is the time before Kyle falls head over heels in love with Claire, because he's headed in that direction. So if this happens, whether or not Victor's involved, Summer's going to do something else. And I just wonder what she's going to do next. Maybe Victor can inspire her. If Summer, for instance, tells Kyle that Claire is getting really close to Victor, that might be an issue. Claire made it clear to Kyle she's only working with Nikki, not her granddad, but Summer could tell Kyle that Claire is getting really tight with Victor as part of her new job, even though it's at Chancellor, not Newman. And I fully suspect Summer to keep undercutting Claire at every turn, even without Victor encouraging her. But he might openly tell Summer, you should go get your man back, put your family back together, stuff like that. But if Summer succeeds and Kyle does stray from Claire, I can't see Victor standing for that either, because he'd probably then turn to Kyle and, tell him he's bad for, treating Claire so poorly. And then Victor could let Kyle know that nothing Summer said was true. Claire is only working with Nikki and he's never around her, kind of expose any little lies that Summer tells. I could definitely see the mustache pulling them off. So we'll see how it goes, but Victor's not going to sit still while Claire gets in deeper with Kyle. He wants them split and he wants it now. And I suspect Victor will use anything he can to make it happen, even another of his granddaughters. Summer might be a tool he can use and then turn around and betray her too, because this is what Victor does. His family history makes it clear. When he decides he knows what's best for one of his kids or grandkids, he just makes it happen, even if they wind up angry at him. We've seen him do it to Victoria, to Nick, to Adam. He had Victoria arrested on her wedding day because he didn't like her groom. Victor has lashed out at Adam and Nick in the past, pitted them against each other, because they didn't do what he wanted with either their professional or personal lives. So will Victor play these same games with the next generation and take aim and push Summer into targeting Claire even more than she already is?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.